Greetings from Chicagoland. You're listening to Munira's Musings, where your host Munira will showcase new guests each week to share exciting details about the journey to their niches. As we like to say, the riches are in the niches, and on this show, we'll share ideas on how to break through our invisible boundaries so we can start taking steps towards our dreams and create the life that we most desire. If you're passionate about impacting lives, then this podcast will give you some great ideas and equip you with the tools to quickly grow your business. Okay, let's get started with today's show. Here's your host, Munira.
Greetings from Chicagoland. This is Munira, the niche navigator from Munira's Musings. How are you, everybody? It's Thursday. We are live with another guest who has walked into his niche and is making strides. Carl is a friend that I have met because we sit in the same classes every week. And then I realized that what he does is so passionate and so close to my heart. So I connected with him a few weeks ago. I mean, we've been connected, but we actually connected. And I realized this man has a story everybody needs to hear. Ladies and gentlemen, we bring a guest to you every week so that we can inspire those people sitting on the sidelines and have people who have already jumped into the pool of entrepreneurship to start their own business and create some strides in their business. So the stories that we bring here are not only their stories, but also to inspire you. And if you like our channel, go ahead, share these stories, and we are everywhere where podcasts can be found. So go ahead, share, like, and subscribe to our channel. Without further ado, let's talk to Carl. Carl, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being on Munira's Musings. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Thank you for having me, Munira. Really excited to be here. And yeah, sure, I'd love to tell you about myself. I am a family man, father of 5. We're a family of 7. What? And I love entrepreneurship. I have a background in being a performing artist, choreographer, movement coach, and just that runs the gamut, singing, modeling, and things such as that. And I also have been able to do movies with celebrities such as Brooke Shields, Brendan Fraser, and other artists as well. And I love and I'm very passionate about the whole entertainment field. And I've been able to bring the entertainment business and that background into entrepreneurship, because I noticed some years ago, people would use comments like, wow, you're a rock star. Oh, you're and they use terminologies like that in the business world. And I thought, that's what I do. So, but besides that too, being in the entertainment industry and being protective of myself and other people, I formed businesses throughout time. And so now where I land right now is I am a coach, and really I help people with presentation, and specifically coaches who want to be confident online with their presentations, whether they're doing virtual events or doing lives like you're doing, or doing even video shorts. And I love making them look good because it's important. And for me, that's been a journey because it goes back to when I was a performing artist. I used to kind of compare myself to other people and say, wow, I wish I could sing like that, or I wish I could dance like that, or I wish I could perform like that or act like that. And I thought, you know what? Here's one thing I know I can do well. I could present. I could look good. I could dress good. And if I fall, I'm a fall looking good. So, and I love it. I laugh about it now, but I see how important it is when people present themselves online. They want to be at their best. And, even if we do lives and things like that, we could fumble over words, and those things will naturally happen. But we're striving to present and look good and be at our best, because when we do that, we feel good and we feel confident.
Okay, so you talk about working with Brendan Fraser and Brooke Shields. Were you in a movie with them? I'm sure everybody wants to know. I want to know.
I just sprung up some curiosity. So I was a choreographer as a movie called Furry Vengeance. and I was a choreographer for them, and also some motion capture I did as well. So I got a chance to work with them as far as presenting themselves with movement and feeling comfortable with movement, being, for example, how you dance, how you take breaths, how you take pauses, how you show character when you're presenting with movement. And so that was pretty fun. And, giving them attitude and things like that.
So
So
why did you, like, you worked for this industry, you were a employee, right?
right.
And then you jumped into this pool with us, into entrepreneurship pool with us. So
Right.
how long did you work in that industry, and why did you jump? Isn't the entertainment industry growing so well?
It is. It's been, even after the pandemic, it's starting to grow more. And for me, being an introvert, I love being in the entertainment industry, and actually I still am. Sometimes I'll get requests to do choreography and things like that. And so for me, I'm very selective though, because what was important to me was one of my values. I'm not going to go and do anything. It has to pique my interest, and it has to be in line with my values. And then two, a lot of the things I was asked to do, it would cause me to be away from my family a lot. And I did not want to be away from my family. So that was very important. But I love the entertainment industry still.
Okay, so choreography, making them feel good, you looking good, and then all of a sudden you come here and then you think, hey, I can do this. So what is it that you do now with
Sure.
entrepreneurs that they look good?
Good question. So I help them to look good. I pretty much help them to feel confident on camera. So I help them to be able to present. So I provide coaching for them. And on the back end, for some people, they don't feel comfortable even doing stuff. So say for instance, if you wanted to just be online, be on camera, and it's like, okay, no way, that's not going to happen. No, yes way, it definitely can happen. Let me help give you the tools that you need. So my coaching, me and my son, we help coach people to feel confident, and we give them tools like looking into the camera lens, making sure there's no reflections on our glasses and things like that, and moving our hands when we need to, and speaking slowly and taking pauses. Those are just some examples that we can coach people in, and we coach people in, and it's great. It's a lot of fun, and you'd be surprised at the quote unquote basic things that might look easy to the average eye, but really doing these things and the mechanics of them aren't always easy. So we give them those tools. And the next step is, once they're ready to get online, they might say, okay, what do I do once I get online? Click a button, I get it. And then what's after that? We coach them through that. And if they need, we also provide done for you services where we can help them do like short form videos and things like that.
Okay, so most people are gonna say, I can be on video, I don't know what to say.
Oh, they say, what, if I can't be on video? They might think
I
that.
can be on video, I can be on video all day, but I just don't know what to say. What do you tell people to look that way?
Well, there's context. There's different formulas. Like a lot of things we do in life, we have different formulas. We have formulas for brushing our teeth. We have formulas for eating foods. We have routines. That's another word for
Okay.
formulas. So I also help and give them routines. And for example, if someone wants to go on, okay, what are the routines or what are the formulas for going on and making sure you can captivate people in the camera when you give them a message or you're sharing your story? There are specific routines we can give people. Like, for example, hook. You hook them in with a message you want to give them, and that way you get their attention. You give them a story. The story can be a story about your experience. Like I gave a story about my experience being in the entertainment industry, and then following up with an offer. And even with all that, by the way, the offer is what you want, a call to action, where you want people to go to next. Check out my YouTube page, or click for more information, or check out my blog, or check out my services or my product. We're able to set people up for success with that, because it doesn't have to be too complicated. It could be easy. Not always simple, but it can be easy. So I provide people with that as well.
Okay, all right. So content, you help people create content as well.
Correct.
All right, so you have people feel confident. Why? And you mentioned looking in the camera, the shadows shouldn't be there, moving your hands, etc. So why are these things so important?
That's a great question. Because these things are important because the reality is no one wants to, people want to be edutained. You know, there's that buzzword in our industry, edutained. They want to be entertained and they want to be educated. Now, if I come on and I'm like, okay, guys, next turn to page 21 in your workbook, that's going to bore people. But if I can give people a message with charisma, or if anyone can, that's going to draw them in more. You're going to get more views, you're going to get more engagement, and ultimately you're able to make sales. Those things are so key. And sometimes for a lot of coaches, they feel like they may not need that, but those mechanics are so important because it helps to move the needle in the customer's journey.
Okay. I mean, we talk, right? We talk in daily life. We move our hands, we move our head, we
Right.
all animated. Sometimes we become that way, depending on who we are speaking to. But there are times when we are actually on camera and we are frozen. We do not know how to move. I'm going to start this question and say, why is that important to you? Why did you think that this was something I can help people to do? Because I know it's important to you. That's why you help people. But I want to know, why is it important to you?
It's important because one, on a basic level, it helps people to connect the dots. So when someone gets in front of a camera and they might, that I related to when as a performing artist, when I was 14, even the age of 13 and 14, if I'd get in front of the camera, I'd be like this and I wouldn't know what to do. And I know that feeling of, what do I do? I got to do something, but I can't, I'm frozen. I can't move. I can't say anything. I can't express. And it feels so, and I felt so entrapped. And so I could relate to how people can feel entrapped when they can't get a message out that they really want to get out. In everyday life, they can have a conversation with their sibling or their spouse and have a great conversation and be very expressive. But when they get on camera, it's just there's something about the lens where they could kind of get stuck, be like a deer in the headlights. And so I like to help people to unlock that situation. If they're in that situation where they feel stuck and they also feel like they can't get their ideas out, that feels so bad. When I know the feeling, when I want to get everything out, I want to get out, but I only got 1/3 of it out because I was so focused on the lens and I was focused on the camera and being in front of the camera. And so even now, it's still a struggle. It's a struggle for a lot of people, but I know the mechanics and how to unlock it for myself. So it's that much easier than when I was 14 years old. So I like to give people that. I love the feeling, and it gives me a high when I'm able to help people to unlock that situation.
That is amazing. So you have a thriving business, right? People come and say, hey, I need this help. I need to be on camera. As we grow in our businesses, the first thing we realize that TikTok is huge, right? It surpassed Instagram, it surpassed all of the other things. And it's like huge. People have massive following because he did something or they're doing something. Somebody who's starting out doesn't know anything about TikTok. What do you advise them to do?
That's a great question. The first thing I do is kind of take a few steps back and make sure that the audience, the people they're trying to reach, they want to make sure that they are on TikTok. I know a lot of people are on TikTok, but some people may have, in their audience they might be on Instagram. The audience might be on Facebook. Their audience might be on LinkedIn or YouTube. They might be on TikTok, but they want to make sure that they're on TikTok, because if their avatar, their audience is not on TikTok, they might be wasting time. They're most likely wasting time. But if the audience is on there, one thing I say is take a look at the platform, experiment and pay attention to people who are in your niche, and then try to watch their videos and see and look for patterns. One of the coaches, Jim Edwards, I like how he talks about that. Look for patterns. or he talks about how he does that. And I'm like, that's so important to look for patterns. In everything we do subconsciously, or a lot of things we do subconsciously, we look for patterns. So if I, in my days of choreography and movement coaching, I'm looking for patterns. Or if I'm singing a song or listening to a song, even with my family, there are patterns there. In movies, there are patterns. So what you want to do is when you're on TikTok, look for the patterns in which the people are presenting in your specific niche, and take notes, and then start experimenting. There's more to that. Just start experimenting. But that's pretty much the easy idea. But as far as there are steps that you want to take, as far as the nuances and getting onto the platform and signing up for it and all these different things. But that's pretty much the idea.
But there are people out there who just make funky videos, and they have a large following. So do we just start with a funky video?
That's a good question. You want to set your goals and find out what do you want your audience to get from you? Because even though I might be making all the funky videos in the world, but I may not be getting any customers. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to do that. I want to get customers. So you want to, as you discover, you might find some people in your niche who are giving entertainment, edutainment videos. For example, you might see someone doing a dance or what have you, but the text, the captions might educate in some way. So that's the edutainment right there. You got the movement, or you got the your lip sync to your favorite song or what have you. And then the captions are there. Pay attention to what's going on. And that's what I'm talking about as far as the patterns. So that's even a good way to start. As you do your research, you take notes, see how they're doing it. What I just said is one way. You might find 5 different ways and pay attention to those patterns, and then start experimenting with those patterns. Because most likely the ones who are doing those patterns, they didn't make those patterns up. They're doing those patterns for a specific reason. They know that it gets them engagement. They know that it helps people to pay attention to their videos and then share their videos. They understand the formula. So it is important to pay attention to those patterns. And so hopefully what I just said right there can give you freedom to take a look, imitate, and innovate.
I like that. Imitate and innovate. So, it's always fun when you have a fun guest who's always sharing something, but then we also have to be cognizant of time, because that is a bloodsucker out of our business. I know.
Oh, man. We're having fun, Munira. We're having fun.
I know we are, but timing is of essence, right? So tell us something that you want to leave the guests with, and something that's going to elevate and then innovate them.
Yes. So as far as with video and coming on camera and being confident on camera, when I'm expressing to my audience, I don't want anyone to feel like, wow, you have to do this. This is the only way to do this. I'm not going to be a marketer to say that, because that's not me being real. I'm not being authentic if I do that. I'm not talking about anyone else. However, if you have any desire, and even if you're an introvert like me, you could be an introvert or extrovert. If you have any desire, I want to strongly encourage you to consider it. Consider pursuing coming on camera, presenting yourself on camera, and finding out the mechanics with it and how to do it. Because you might be missing out. You might be missing out on an audience that you have not reached yet. An audience whom you want to bring value to, an audience who's just waiting for you. There are people literally, whether consciously or subconsciously, waiting for you to give value, waiting for you to answer your calling and meet their needs. And so I want to encourage you with that. If you feel like, wow, I can't do it, I want to encourage you, pursue, what it takes to be confident on camera, because it's well worth it. And once you're doing it, you never know who you're going to inspire.
I know, because when I first started my podcast, I was rusty. I mean, talk about clunky and rusty. But then I had to keep oiling myself and figuring it out. And I tell all the entrepreneurs that are listening out here is that all you have to do is just start doing it. You don't have to show the world. You can make a video, delete it, make a video, delete it, show your
Right.
family. And that's how you start. I didn't do that because I thought I was the expert. And when I go look at my old videos, I sometimes feel, wow. But as I look at the videos that I'm making, and there's always a learning stretch even now, but as we keep moving forward, we become better and we become better. It's like a kid learning how to walk, right?
Right. Right. I love it. And can I add to that too?
Sure.
So what I also add to that too is as you're learning and you don't worry about fumbling, you're going to make mistakes. It's okay. But as you're going, also ask yourself a question. What are my strengths right now? Because I know for me, I'm not the best public speaker, which I'm cool with that. But when I realized that I wasn't down on myself, I realized, but I'm a great presenter. So how can I use my presentation and my presence and wrap everything else around that? And so for me, that's the key. As I did that, and as I do it, I'm getting better and better in the other areas. It's that principle of discipline. You focus on one area, it's going to affect the other areas of your life, and even in what you're doing in your work life. So I want to encourage you with that. What is your strength? Ask yourself that question and then capitalize on it.
It's so right. I mean, we are entrepreneurs here who are also coaches, who are also sharing this with you. But I'll tell you, everybody listening here, the one thing that he has said right now is amazing, because what you do is you find your nucleus. What's your nucleus? And then let all the DNA and all of the other things revolve around it. And if you look behind me, we have the sun and all the planets there. But so figure out what your sun is. If you're not figuring out what your nucleus is, find what your sun is, because that's going to energize all of the other solar system in your sphere of knowledge.
I love that. I love the way you put that, Munira. That was amazing. It's true.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So ladies and gentlemen, here we are. Sorry to say segment is almost over, but we are here so that we can, like I said, push you into doing things that are uncomfortable, consistency, and then create and innovate, like he said. So the bottom line is just start doing something. I mean, when I listened to what Carl is doing, and then it just inspired me, I said, you have to be on my show. This is something that my people need to hear. And you all are my people. So you know what? Let's take this first stride. Let's jump into it. Just come in front of a camera, even if you don't have an audience, because that's going to build. Just get your confidence up, right, Carl?
Right. Amen to that.
Carl, how do people find you?
Yes. If you'd like to find me, you can go to my site, carlalley.com, CarlAlley, and is in Nancy E.com. I have information, resources. We're doing a book launch coming up soon. All that information's on there. And want to get your confidence up. Let's go.
A book launch. Okay, we'll get to that in a few seconds. But all right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, if you like what we are doing, go ahead, share, like, and subscribe to our videos. We are on YouTube. We are on everywhere that you can find our podcast. And you know what? Jump in. We would love to see you on the other side. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Munira's Musings. We hope that you found today's conversation inspiring and useful, so that you can continue making progress towards mastering your own niche. Please tune in next week for another episode, and in the meantime, you can follow us on social media at Munira's Musings on Facebook, and leave us a review wherever you're listening to podcasts. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.